Could you imagine a Travis Scott, uh, Childish Gambino, the other youngster that I just mentioned, the creator, Gunner, and a couple of them other dudes taking the lead on black leadership?
They'll be canceled.
But every time they try to get to that, their handlers distract them and send them another way. See, they're not allowed to help me and you. Don Cornelius gave me some money once before when we was doing the gang truce. Man, go get some gas, buy food, do what y'all do. I came back, hey, Don, God bless you, Don. You was my partner, man. 310-858-8232. That was your phone number. And he said, man, Malik, man, the white folks said, man, if I give you any more money, man, they gonna cut me off. That man caught hell behind that Soul Train thing. I used to talk to him. Don Cornelius didn't commit suicide. You can't commit suicide with 2 shots to the head.
That part.
Don Cornelius used to tell me about the headaches. I called him, Malik, man, my head hurt, but I'll talk to you for a few seconds. He was a good man. But he'll let you know, them white folks, he couldn't stand them people, man. I just gotta be honest with you. Because they drove him crazy. It goes back to the masters wanting the masters. I used to talk to him every day.
So you said Don Cornelius had 2 gunshots to it?
They heard 2 gunshots go off when that man was reported dead. How you gonna do that if you commit suicide and you only got 1 bullet? Don't fool yourself, man. Last time I seen Luther Vandross, he was coming out of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle on Pico. He used to love that spot, verifiable. And I said, Luther, when you gonna come out with something else, man? Come out, man, we miss you. He was the thin Luther then. He said, Malik, don't nobody want to hear from no old guy. So when rap came out, especially on the West Coast, and it was more gangster, people strayed away from old school R&B, except for the Mexican community kind of stuck with the oldies, the Asians, oldies, and stuff like that. But for the most part, black people abandoned R&B. You remember?
No.
It was corny to sing R&B until we got hold of the other little brother who I seen him singing on the plane when he was a little boy, was on our way to the Million Man March.
R&B never died, but we didn't want to hear no new R&B from no old ass nigga. Like nobody.
No, the industry said we are not gonna let y'all do no more Public Enemy, Fight the Power.
Yeah.
We ain't letting you do Queen Latifah and all them talking about.
But you got R. Kelly, Aaliyah, you got Boyz II Men, Jodeci.
Those dudes came along the lines of rap.
But I'm saying, but there was R&B. It was.
That's not R&B. Yeah. I mean, put it this way: R&B to me.
Jodeci and Boyz II Men. I mean, they were R&B. They didn't.
Okay, I'll give it. Let me rephrase that for the listening audience. I'm used to soul music.
It was a new
R&B is a part of rap to me. I remember when the first rap song was played on WBLS, 107.5 or 9, Frankie Crocker.
But music evolves. It's just like R&B was it was ragtime, it was jazz, it was scat, it was gospel, it was blues. R&B was really basically gospel secular.
I beg to
rock
differ.
And roll was gospel sped up.
I beg to differ because I've met Little Richard and all them dudes before. I beg to differ, and I hope we can do that.
You met the real king of rock and roll is Ike Turner.
I mean, no, he wasn't the king.
Yeah,
Little Richard was the king.
No, the first
Chuck Berry and all them dudes.
No, first. Look it up. The first record on wax of rock and roll was Rocket 88. Chuck Berry admit that Sweet Maple Leaf, or one of his records, the opening chords is Rocket 88. The owner of Elvis Presley and Jerry Lewis, he did a whole interview. He had a studio where he engineered and helped do all of the black music. The white boys ran him out of town, started threatening his family. His wife was like, you got to stop this shit. So he said he devised a plan. He shut down the studio dealing with the black folks. He says, I'm gonna do this black music with white boys to make everybody happy. And that's where Elvis and Jerry Lewis came out, right? And all of that sound out of Memphis. But he says he was there when Rocky the 88 was recorded. Ike sang it, and at that time, Ike got fucked over because the dude that paid for everything put his name on it.
Well, I beg to differ because before Ike, there was Jimi Hendrix. So Ike is not responsible for that. The main
No, Jimmy. Another
Jim-
one I got. No, Jimmy worked for Ike.
But listen,
That's documented.
but the dude who
Jimmy
the dude who
worked for
invented
Ike.
rock and roll.
Jimmy was in Ike's band.
I'm
I'm just telling you, Ike is.
gonna grab
Ike
my
is the
phone.
dude. Look it up. Ike is the
I'm gonna grab my
first
phone
record.
and tell you.
And I think that's, and I wanted to get to, that's why I feel there's a conspiracy that black people, when we think of Ike Turner,
What black artist
he's a
invented
joke.
rock and roll?
Not invented.
They invented it.
What's the first rock and roll record?
Sister Rosetta Tharpe, despite the fact that many influential black rock and roll artists have come before her, is widely regarded as the founder of the classic rock and roll.
What's the first recorded rock and roll album on wax? What's the
first recorded rock and roll album on wax? Crazy About My Baby by Blind Roosevelt's 1929.
How about Rocket 88?
What year was Rocket 88 made? Little Richard is the one that did that.
No, Rocket 88.
1951. They late. What contributions did Little Richard make to rock and roll?
And see where he came out.
Little Richard frantically charged piano playing and raspy shouted vocals on such classes as Tutti Frutti, Long Tall Sally, and Good Golly Molly, Miss Molly, defined the dynamic sound of rock and roll.
When did the first record, when did Little Richard's
Ever.
first record come out?
Ever.
No, when did the first record?
Little Richard's first record release. He
Wait,
told me that person out of his mouth. Remember, I've interviewed Biggie Smalls, Tupac Shakur, Suge Knight, Stephanie Mills, name one.
I'm saying
Bobby Browns.
Hey, I stick to Ike Turner, man. He's a forerunner, and I'm saying.
What year did Little Richard's first rock and roll record come out? Yeah, right. He's the king of rock and roll. He's the founding. Who is the founding father of rock and roll? Little Richard probably got it from dude from the 29. You know how I know? Because I grew up in New York behind Studio 54. And the other joint called the Bond International. And they had a group called The Clash. Look them up. I was the first black man they ever encountered in their life. I was a hardcore, to this day, death rock listening to. I listened to all that heavy metal. And shout out to my homegirl, Vicky. We listened to it together. That dark Black Sabbath and all that. I listened to it. And it's not because I liked it. I just liked the way that people used to actually get in them pits and do their thing off of rock and roll music. But that's heavy metal, because you got different variations of rock and roll. You got metal, dead metal, you got death metal, you name it. I don't know if dead metal is an actual activity in the rock and roll world, but for the most part, there's many variations of rock and roll, and all of it came from black people. Where do you think Elvis got all his moves from? From Little Richard.
And they said, look at this. They said Rocket 88 is widely considered one of the first rock and roll records due to its raw energy, distorted guitar sound, and driving rhythm, though its status as the absolute first is debated by historians. Recorded in 1951 by Jack Brinston and his Delta Cats, the Ike Turner Band, the song's accidental distortion came from a damaged amplifier combined with its subject matter and youthful appeal. Influenced the development of rock and roll and is recognized as many as the pivotal moment in the music history. And that was 1951. Then we got Little Richard, first song released. Little Richard's first release single was Every Hour in 1951 as well.
There you go.
And Tutti Frutti came out in 1955.
Don't forget groups like Fishbone and Bad Brains and all them dudes. And then you got that white group that I was going around with when I was a kid called The Clash. Them were some bad white boys, man.
But I think what this goes to show you is the black our culture, because it being 1951 and they're kind of both been iconic and they both coming around, that goes to show you there was a certain vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Right, because it all came from the Jimi Hendrix era, introducing it to this generation and the ones before us.
Yeah.
And during his era. And then Jimi
Because
Hendrix.
Jimmy was a part of his band too, Little Richard's band. He
There
was
you
part
go.
of Ike and Richard's
There
band.
you go.
You know?
And then after Little Richard came and was getting the exposure because he came with Tutti Frutti.
Yeah.
And then he played that bisexual role, which he really was.
Yeah.
And then that got him a little further than the average person.
And they said, and what's crazy, James Brown was a part of Little Richard's band. He was the background singer or something.
Shit, Anita Baker was part of Chapter 8.
I don't even, what's Chapter 8?
I mean, I forget. I think that was a group she was with. Anita Baker got booed at the Apollo when she first came out. Did you know that?
No.
She was part of a group called Chapter 8. Let me find out. The Whispers only did one song with a woman ever. Did you know that? I think it was Anita Baker.
They were out of LA? The Whispers?
I think they was out of Watts.
Did you know Dick Griffin?
Yeah.
You knew Big West?
Who?
Big West?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I knew Big West. I think he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, I knew Big West. That was a power broke. I knew his brother too. His brother's a blood named
Yeah, I heard his brother was the big OG.
He an OG. He used to do the gang truce with us.
But yeah, Big West used to tell me a lot about his
brother. His brother, I forget his name. He lived off a Big West reputation.
Because he always
This Anita Baker when she was with
Big
Chapter
West
8.
Always said.
That's Anita Baker. She was with Chapter 8. Let your viewers see it.
Oh, I messed that up. Yeah, just put it to the camera again.
Out of Detroit.
Go back just a little bit. There it is. Now we got it.
Now, let me tell you one last.